What is good, Cardano fam, ADA gang? We have lots of exciting updates to unpack today, so hit that subscribe, hit that like. Cardano pre-production environment forked. Only mainnet left to go. Get your engines ready for September 1st. September 1st, guys, less than 1 week for Chang Hard Fork. And of course, yesterday we saw the nice poll come to the completion by W3 Hub, who throws many different events, different networks. Cardano ADA, of course, crushed the poll with 7 times more votes than Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana combined. So, nice poll, not surprised. A lot of the heavy lifting is being conducted with the Bitcoin bridge and soon to be released Ethereum bridge. Of course, Rosen bridging, moving liquidity between Ergo, Cardano, Bitcoin, and soon Ethereum. So I love this. This paves the way for UTXO and EVM chain support. Lovely. There was a great highlight by Zach, a crypto YouTuber with a pretty big following, and he's mostly targeting altcoins XRP, and he gave a great statement positive for Cardano. So here's a supercut. Zach says, as a large Cardano holder, I fell in love with ADA. I have a lot of respect for Charles Hoskinson. They're building for good. Rare Evo energy was sky high. People know the name. It's well positioned for institutional and retail adoption. So it's very refreshing to hear from someone outside of the strict Cardano bubble comment positive, see that it's time tested. He mentioned that, since 2017. He also mentioned how this is a long-term vision and it's really building with a competitive advantage. He actually called Ethereum the Walmart of smart contracts. I never heard that before. So the more we can bring great chains together, especially with partner chains, and that leads to this, it's going to be really good for Cardano and the whole ecosystem. Now, of course, yesterday we teased that the Algo Foundation CTO was open to discuss a Cardano partner chain. And of course, Algorand's technology CTO would love to hear more. It's not the first time that they've spoken about machine learning, AI, and whatnot, but we've had some updates on that conversation. And people are so excited. Algorand, Cardano, it's very little negative sentiment. Interoperability between L1s and collaborations to solve hard topics like neural networks training on blockchain is necessary. Ultimately, this will be highly beneficial to the industry. Partner chains equipped with Minotaur are a perfect way to establish collaboration. So, of course, Rick was asking, is it okay for Cardano peeps to say nice things about Algorand now? Like, people are not going to start clowning on each other. And I think, guys, let's continue to push the positive. And let's just push to the sides people who are just doing like ad hominem, insult of character, just mocking the networks. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should try to be objective. The same way how Zach, he's more like pro XRP, but he's looking at Cardano and he sees that it's based. We should also see how we can bring value and synergy to Algorand and many other networks, right? So I think it's going to be a win-win. We can bring value to both communities. Another response, Algorand has always been one of the more respected blockchains in Cardano circles. And it doesn't end there. Like, I have a lot of respect personally for many other networks. And we're going to get to the Telegram stuff in just a moment. We're excited to announce a partnership with Mynth. By using their infrastructure, traders from Solana, Polygon, and more will be able to effortlessly trade derivatives on our platform. This should open us up to a broader market and inject more liquidity into the ecosystem. A lot of fresh announcements, and I guess in anticipation for their pre-sale coming up, Strike Finance another one. We're thrilled to announce we've signed an agreement with TxPipe to audit our Aiken contracts. Mainnet will be released following the successful completion of this audit. Well, audits are always welcome. They kind of got memed in the last cycle with Certic and whatnot, but hey, audits play a key role. Speaking of key roles, memes, guys, I'm still waiting for Snack Fun, but it's great that Liftoff by Saturn Swap has been doing an incredible job. PumpFren is around the corner, less than 2 weeks, so I'm following them also. This is a new kid on the block, and yes, we could argue why so many, but at the end of the day, that's DeFi. At the end of the day, that's DeFi. And the best winners, the consumers, will flock to and support. So they got a hilarious mission statement. You can follow them and everyone else. Everything's always linked in the description. TapTools, new integration. Lenfi V2 lending and borrowing data is now integrated into TapTools. So why not? TapTools was my go-to for just price monitoring for Nike and whatnot. So I think that they play a key role with Cardano DeFi. Ascent Rivals, guys, spoiler alert, not really, but it's a fun game to play. I was playing it yesterday as well. Very easy to install on Steam, very bustling community on the Discord, very positive. It just reminds me of Star Wars Phantom 1 Pod Racer, that game on N64, plus F-Zero GX on GameCube, with a kind of a twist of like Knights of the Old Republic swoop racing. And it all comes together as a fun game that's not screaming blockchain at you or requiring NFTs. So very cool. They're doing a game today. We're opening up the servers for an open playtest, and that's at 7 p.m. PST. They're doing a giveaway too. So tonight's winner will receive a limited Lego set. Pretty cool. So there might be some conditions, but at the end of the day, if this interests you, join the Discord, join and follow the Twitter. Now let's get into the the heated stuff, right? So I saw a glimpse of this stuff last night, and I'm like, oh, here we go again, right? When we talk about the FUD post halving, and always some new noise for people to just be like, oh, it's the end of the world, blah blah blah. I think this is kind of the tip of the iceberg, if you will. So the Telegram founder was arrested, and it's unfortunate. We think about everything else, Tornado Cash, we think about everything else in the past. It's unfortunate. I think that area of the world has kind of become a circus. I try to just focus on the crypto, but unfortunately there's overlaps into the rest of the industry, especially with all the narratives, and we saw that narrative reflect in price. So yeah, Telegram founder right now seems to still be detained, and still waiting a resolution. His Twitter is very quiet. He just has a pinned tweet of when they did some browser integrations of like a month ago. So his Twitter is pretty quiet. It's sad, really. Looking the rest on Twitter, we'll see what Vitalik has to say. He has a few interesting replies, and the arrest or the detainment of him, in the Edward is saying, is basically an assault on human rights, etc. It's unfortunate, but maybe this is the flavor of the ultimate fear going into capitulation before we catapult into Altseason. Even people like Zach were saying the same thing. It's the months ahead. He was seeing a $5 to $7 price target. So it might be that this is more fear in the market. Now, the rest of the projects have been doing pretty good. Like, they have not been dumping the way that Ton took a severe nosedive, but I'm sure that it's going to stabilize. Hopefully we see an optimistic outcome for Telegram founder. I like Telegram, and look, at the end of the day, many of the legacy apps have been compromised in one way, have flaws. You can find something bad in anything under the sun, you know what I'm saying? So I hope there's a positive outcome for this founder and for the crypto industry and for freedom of speech as a whole, but only time can tell. Now to Vitalik, what does he have to say? He says, I've criticized Telegram before for not being so serious with encryption, but given the information so far, charges seem to be just unmoderated and not giving up people's data. This looks very bad and worrying for the future. So again, fear, concern, and like, people say this and they send SMS. People say this and they don't use 2FA. People say this and Facebook did XYZ. People say this and WhatsApp did this. Say 1, 2, 3. So at the end of the day, no one's really anonymous. You can triangulate people in 100,000 different ways. I think that, again, there's going to be a lot of fear mongering, guys, and this is natural. We expected kind of events like this to unfold. This is why we need open source and formal verification of security properties. I did a quote retweet and I'm like, oh, like open source, like Cardano and formal verification, maybe a little peer reviewed security properties, Cardano. Yeah, we definitely need. Yeah, I see that comment there. We definitely need. So let's move on from that. That's kind of a TLDR. I didn't see any replies from Charles. Vitalik just chiming in there. Let me know what you guys think. It sucks that stuff like this is even happening. Like, what a weird world we're living in right now. It's very bizarre, but sometimes you just got to filter out the noise and focus on the signal. So, and at the end of the day, emotions are always going to play with fear and greed, right? So let's move on to Cardano in just a moment. 2.5 to 3% yield is great if you know that Cardano has a hard capped coin supply. Bitcoin has no yield for coin holders. Miners often go bankrupt. And I think this is true. It may not be an absolute, but I can speak from my own experience that mining Bitcoin, at some point it's like, okay, are we doing pool? Are we doing solo? Does it make sense? And it's really tied to price. Having that Cardano yield is nice. I like the Cardano yield. For the normies, even, it's like they just perceive it as a savings account, right? That savings percentage yield that they've been accustomed to, that's the norm. And so that will tie nicely to, even, you see all the overlaps, that ties nicely to what? Retail adoption. Because if institutions want safe and secure, and we're talking about yield and hard capped and 2.53%, it's a healthy level of inflation. It's not in double digits. And so it kind of is a win-win. And that's why I think Cardano has been moving meticulously, a slow-moving turtle, to satisfy the needs for so many types of building. And that's why we see sky-high energy at Rare Evo. That's why we see the need for open source and security. So Cardano's been moving slow, but a quick pump is a quick dump. And if you take a look at the way Cardano's been moving, you see that in the price. You see the network effect in the community. We see that in terms of search queries with Google Trends on YouTube and elsewhere, and how it's felt on the Twitter community. So where are we headed from here, and when? I think that we're going to see American-centric ETFs, whether we like it or not. Right, guys? Whether we like it or not. We won't be able to satisfy everyone's needs, you know what I'm saying? And your needs and my needs are different from everyone else's in crypto. So I think we will see USA-centric ETFs, even though we have amazing ETPs, and you guys can see that on Twitter. But I think we will surpass our previous all-time high. Zach was saying $5 to $7 range going in the few months ahead of us. I still stay true to the Q1 2025. I did notice though, guys, you guys on the polls were saying mostly like Q4 this year, Q1 of 2025. And that's a whopping 2/3 of the community leaning towards like quick. No one has patience, you know what I'm saying? They're just like, give it to me right now, give me the pumps. And ironically, sometimes as a contrarian, the opposite occurs of what people expect. Now, Zach was also saying, he was saying that kind of what's repeating here is same thing. Same sort of sentiment that we've been having for weeks and months on the channel. So smash that subscribe, you know. So I think that we may actually see something else where it goes a little bit later, but I still think that it's reasonable to say approximately Q1 we're going to see some momentum build up. There was a comment on the channel saying like, yo, like I don't like seeing these $100 price predictions. I agree. I don't like these crazy bizarre ones. So I would go as firm to say that we may not even go past like 50 or 60 cents like for the months ahead. I still think we're not out of that jitter. And guys, is this not proof? Like seeing posts like this to just do what, like a 1-2 Mayweather, like that's a lot. Like just overnight dropping like $2, you know, dropping a lot. That's a lot of market cap drop. If we look at market cap drop, guys, one narrative comes out, we just drop $3 billion. Like, like so it you know, narratives run this market also. The cycles are the cycles, the narratives are the garnish, but for an overnight plunge of $4 billion, that's a spicy meatball, you know what I'm saying? So I think that we're not out of the jitter just yet. At least we didn't feel it too much in Cardano. That's pretty nice given like how substantial the news are. We didn't really get too much of a slap. Still, we still kind of rallied still well. So I guess they got in the way of Cardano will never go under 40 cents meme. So I think, guys, we will surpass previous all-time high. I still think it's going to be Q1, Q2 in that time range. But let me know what you think. What is your price target for Cardano? And what do you think of this news? Is this just business as usual? That's what I've been tweeting out. It's just business as usual. It's another day, guys. We're not going to really have much of an impact in these areas of the world anyway. So let's just zoom out, focus on trajectory, focus on just having that, like, why are we having the conviction in this project in the first place, the staking, everything else that we have. That's very positive. So less than 1 week, guys. Less than 1 week. Chang Hard Fork around the corner. Governance, big, fat, juicy treasury. A lot of things to be positive for Cardano moving forward. So hit that subscribe, hit that like. I'll see you in the next Angry Crypto show.